tell us about, because I just wanted some clarity here. You know, I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter. So what did Marmol say about Palante going forward? Does he want to use him as a starter, or he views him long-term as a starter? Tell us the context of what.
He said right now he's in the rotation. You know, I mean, that means he's pitching tonight, and he's slated for Wednesday. And he's their fourth starter right now, pending the return of Flaherty, which I think will be in either one or two more. He's pitching tonight in Memphis. And I don't know if it's possibly or probably next Wednesday at Memphis. And I would fully expect Flaherty to be pitching against the Brewers in that series about 10 days from now after they go to Boston next week. They have Wainwright, Hudson, and Miklasz lined up for the Boston series, but they're going to need somebody to start off that Milwaukee series, and that could be Flaherty on 5 days after his next stop. If he lights it up tonight, he'll be pitching here next Wednesday. But I think
they'll
probably go one more. I think they'll go one more, where he goes 75 or 80 pitches, then he's ready to go full bore after that.
And then that sounds right. I thanks for laying that out for us. Now you have Steven Matz, and then I know Marmol said that they didn't consider whatever that was, a hiccup or something. They don't consider it a setback. It sure sounded like a setback when you take them off a mound and put them on flat ground again to throw. But what's your read on that situation?
Well, my read is that Flaherty is pitching here before Steven Matz is. Flaherty will pitch here in June. Steven Matz will not.
Oh,
in my estimation, because he's going to need to rehab too.
Right.
Now that he's been out, a couple 3 weeks here, and Jack has been healthy for a long time, basically, and Matz is not. So that's where I see that going. The skipper. Somebody asked him if Hicks is going to throw off a mound here. I guess maybe he did today or pretty soon anyway. And somebody asked if either one was ahead in the race. And I said, that's not much of a race right now. And he laughed.
If Hicks is right physically, that bullpen could really use him. And that would be good to see for the Cardinals, because it's been a real scramble. I think Marmol and Maddox have done a really good job of just sort of doing the very best they can with all the chaos on the pitching staff that's really impacted the bullpen.
Well, they got 2, 3, 4 guys they're kind of afraid to use, which is not good, but that's what they're dealt with. They got 9 of 13 guys they're okay with pitching, and 3 or 4 they're not, unless the game is one-sided. Hicks could be what Palante had been as the fourth power arm in the bullpen. Now that Palante is going to start and Hicks didn't do well as a starter, needs to build back up again. He'll probably be that guy maybe toward the end of the month or first part of next month, where he was before when he came up 3 or 4 years ago. And until he's ready to I don't think he'll be starting for a while yet in the big leagues. Will he start in the minors? Now, I think if they think he's going to be a reliever, Hicks won't need as long a rehab in the minors, where he's building up to only 30 or 35 pitches rather than 75 or 80. And you'll get him sooner. And there's a need for him sooner if Palante is going to start.
Rick Hummel with us, the Hall of Fame baseball writer from Busch Stadium. We visit with him every Friday. Every now and then it's different, but usually almost all the time it's Friday. And appreciate his time very much, because I know he's busy. The lineup, first of all, the Cardinals are now in a position offensively to maybe really propel themselves, because they have, assuming O'Neill's going to hit much better. Carlson was hitting really well before he got hurt. Donovan has been, a terrific addition, and their depth is better and all that stuff that you already know. But they have a chance to kind of really launch now, or relaunch offensively. But what are we to make anything about Gorman DHing tonight?
I asked that, and the answer is no. Although I did ask subsequently if Donovan shows he's a much better second baseman than Gorman, does that change how you look at it? And he said, well, yes. But I don't think he considers Donovan a much better second baseman than Gorman right now. But this, for sure, is the best lineup they can put on the field right now. Yepes hasn't been great lately. Donovan is a better hitter right now than Yepes. They've got the 3 outfielders back. They got Gorman DHing, and Kisner's more of a threat than Molina is right now.
Yeah. it's really interesting. So we'll see. Look, they're going to face three tough pitchers this weekend. Not that gives them an out, but and I know Hunter Green's ERA is high, but he's got nasty stuff. Castillo's pitched really well, especially his last three starts. And I don't know anything about the right. I think he's a right-hander.
He's guy they're going to games though, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got Ashcraft, low ERA. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Let's talk about Yepez for a minute. He's definitely cooled down. But what does that mean, do you think? In other words, if he continues to not hit, could we see him sent to Memphis to regroup a little?
Sure. Marmol is very confident that Yepez can work this out. It's a matter of him just he's flying out of the, like a pitcher flies out of his windup. He's kind of flying out of his swing. He's coming. He can't hit the ball to right field right now the way he's swinging. And that's where he was productive when he came up. He was using center field and even right field. Now, almost all his hits are going to left.
Rick, I want to bring you in on a discussion because our old mutual friend, and I don't mind calling him a friend. I mean, I was objective when I wrote about him, Tony La Russa. I got many a phone call from him when he was not my friend, so I'm okay calling him my friend. But yeah, he's catching a lot of heat for that decision he made, and I know you know what that is. But the intentional walk on a 1-2 count to Turner, and then Max Muncy hitting a 3-run bomb. He's really taking a lot of heat. What do you make of what he did? And do you think that the managing thing's going to get a little old for him? He's been under duress the entire time. I mean, I don't know why he really wants to put up with it, but just give us your thoughts on all that.
Well, first, he hadn't had his team. When he gets his team healthy, they got a good club. They won the division last year. He hadn't had Lance Lynn all year. He's barely had Giolito. Lynn's on rehab, by the way, so he's not too far away. Eloy Jimenez is coming back. Robert has been, in and out of the lineup. And now Tim Anderson, his best player, is out. That's really tough. And so he doesn't have those guys, and they're just kind of an average team with what he's able to run out there. Walking Turner to get to Muncy is a very smart move considering how poorly Muncy has done this year compared to what Muncy has done the previous 3 or 4 years, especially against a left-handed pitcher. Now, at a 1-2 count, it is a little surprising. I wonder if possibly he thought it was 2-1. It makes it a little different. He's not going to admit that, though, if he thought it was 2-1. Then he gets torched worse for forgetting the count.
It's a great point.
So that's what I could come up with. But the strategy, if you're going to do it with 0-0, and I don't think people say as much then because Muncy's struggling. He's hitting below 200.
I was going to say the one thing I looked at that I didn't look at right away when this happened and we were talking about it on the air was I went back and looked at the fact. See, you nailed it. You got it right. Not that you need my approval, but you absolutely nailed it. It isn't the Muncy part of this wasn't crazy because even after that home run yesterday, he's hitting 146 against lefties.
Yeah.
And a 244 slugging percentage. He hadn't done a darn thing against lefties. I mean,
no.
He's been terrible against them. And so that part of the thinking was absolutely correct, even if it didn't work. Just because it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it was the wrong decision. But just the count that he walked Turner on. And I will say this, Turner's 2-strike batting average is pretty good, but I don't think Tony took that into consideration either. But so part of it was he was thinking right, but it just kind of blew up on him.
Yeah, and that was an 11-9 game, so that was there were 8 other runs the Dodgers scored that weren't involved with those 3.
Commish, what kind of homestand do you think the Cardinals have to have? They've sort of been back on the treadmill a little bit. Play good, then have a little lull, then play good for a little bit, then have another lull. What do you think? I know the Reds have been playing better. I know the Pirates have been playing better. But what do you think's a reasonable expectation for the number of wins on this homestand?
Well, anytime you play those 2 teams, no matter how at home, no matter how they're playing, in a 7-game schedule, you should go 5-2. 4-3 is not good enough. You should win both series, 2-1 and 3-1, and I don't see any reason why they can't do that. They have, other than the fact that they have some young pitchers having to pitch some of those games, but sort of the other teams. I mean, but we're going to see maybe Zach Thompson Monday if he's not used tonight. And Lord knows who's pitching Tuesday besides Miklasz. It could be Naughton, could be Oviedo, I guess, could be somebody who's not even here, like Woodford or Angel Rondon. And that might be tough to win that doubleheader with those other guys pitching. But, yeah, 5-2 is legitimate, and that puts them back over 500 by 9 games where they were before they lost 3 to Tampa Bay.
You know, the Reds come to town. I mentioned this earlier, and I wrote a little something about it on Scoops with Danny Mac, part of a notebook. But the Reds, who still score a lot at home, they're horrendous on the road. They've scored 79 runs on the road in 28 games this year. That's less than 3 runs per game. Batting .203. So I think the expectation that Cardinals pitchers will have a good weekend if they take care of business.
Yeah, and Tyler Stevenson is perhaps the Reds' most valuable player. He's their very good catcher. He's been hurt a couple times this year, including he got a broken thumb yesterday, so he's out. But young Bob Nightingale, Bobby from the Cincinnati Enquirer, has noted that in the games that Stevenson has started, they're 17-22. In the games he is not, they're 3-15. So that tells me he's pretty valuable.
He's a really good player. He really
he was hurt a lot. You know, he was out of the lineup when they lost all those games at the start of the year. Then when they had their run, he was back in the lineup.
Well, it's going to be a fun series. You know, I'm glad that Joey Votto's been swinging the bat since he returned from the COVID IL list, because he was off to such a bad start. I just love watching the guy hit. I take team affiliation out of it as far as I just love watching that guy hit. So you think he's going to
2 or 3 at bats with the Genesis Cabrera, because Cabrera hadn't pitched since last Saturday. He'll be facing him tonight if the game is on the line.
That'll be good. Well, Kamish, I know you're busy, so thanks for your time as always, and look forward to reading you and the entire STL Today baseball writing team late tonight, early tomorrow. You guys do a great job and appreciate you very much. Take care, my friend. Yep.
Thanks, man.
You got it. That's our good friend Rick Hummel. We love him very, very much. Joey Votto, since coming back through May the 1st, Jim, he was hitting 122. He did not have a home run, and his OPS was about 413. I mean, that's about as bad as you can get, I think. So he went on the COVID IL, and he was out for like 1 day short of 3 weeks. But since returning on May 20th, he's hitting 308. He's got 9 doubles. He's got 5 homers, and he's got a 19 RBIs and an OPS that's over, well, it's about 1,100. And he was using, you know how Goldie switched to that hockey puck style knob at the. Well, Votto started the year with that, and then he decided. I was reading an interview he did. He decided that he it just didn't feel right. It felt too weird. He was really uncomfortable. So he went back to his old bat, and that has a lot to do with his resurgence here. So I just love watching the guy hit. You know, he's one of my favorite players. I mean, during my lifetime, he's one of my favorite players. Because he's just a deep thinker. He really is. He's an unusual guy, and I mean that in the best possible way. He just thinks a little differently than the rest of us. He's funny. Keen intellect, a baseball historian. I mean, self-deprecating. You name it. I mean, it's all there. He's just a fun guy to watch hit, and love to listen to what he has to say about various topics.
I agree with you on the Joey Votto situation and how you view him. And it goes back to, and they've had a lot of years where they haven't been good, but I can remember, this is a decade ago probably, they come in here on the last or second to last weekend of the season, and they're, double digits out of a playoff race, and it's a Saturday afternoon game, and that guy is out there giving it 110%. He's diving for plays. He's just working counts, and that stood out to me every time I watch him play. He doesn't give up on anything, doesn't cheat the game. He respects the game, like you said. He knows the history, and I see more and more stuff, and it's not because he's putting it out there, but I see more and more people, because we've got camera phones and everything everywhere, where he does things for kids who are fans of the game all the time. He communicates with them and does things with it, gives them a bat or things like that. That's just awesome. And if you had more ball players that could take the time to do stuff like that and then respect the game and understand what it's about, being, you're just not there collecting a paycheck. If more guys would be like him, it'd be awesome. And I will enjoy watching him play this week, although those numbers kind of scare you because
he's good.
He could come in here and beat you all by himself.
Tyler Stevenson would have been an all-star catcher this year. He could still be named to the team. He won't be able to play. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. But the only catcher in the league that's hitting like he's hitting is Contreras. And so if you go in the National League, you look at the catchers, I mean, it's those two are like 1 and 2 pretty much in everything. And he's really, really good, and that's a blow to them. They've already had so many injuries. That's really a blow. But one of you guys sent me a text that the Reds have in their notes that since May 7th, the Reds actually have the best record in the NL Central. I don't know what that means exactly. I know they come in here after a bad homestand, and we know they were 3-22. But I do think, I guess there's some danger there. Not as much with Stevenson out of the lineup, and not as much with them being on the road, because as we talked about it, the numbers are brutal. But since May the 7th, for whatever it's worth, Cincinnati 17-15, Cardinals 16-16. Pittsburgh 14-17, Milwaukee 14-18, and Chicago 14-18. So, I guess the Reds can make a run.
Yes,
can make a run.
It would be bad if we come back here on Monday, Bernie, and go, "Oh, we told you the Reds were on a run." Oh boy.
I don't even know what to say, but that is kind of funny that the Reds are touting that in their PR staff, which is a good one. They're touting that in their game notes, like, hey, look at us. Oh.
They got to come up with something.
Oh, the mighty Cardinals, huh? Well, look at these standings since May 7th. The problem season started April 7th, but, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Why would I care anyway? I don't. Hey, before are we going to take another time out, or are we done?
We're good.
Much?
We can stick with it here
I did want to just remind everyone, you still got time to do two things in terms of St. Louis Cardinals games. There's Teachers Night. It returns to the ballpark over 2 nights, Monday, June the 13th, and Tuesday, June the 14th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, teachers will take home an exclusive Cardinals neoprene tote bag. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. All I know is the tote bag looks great. For more information or to purchase, visit cardinals.com/theme, cardinals.com/theme. And again, Monday, June 13th, and Tuesday, June 14th. And I know that the Star Wars night is the night after that, June the 15th, and you can get an exclusive Star Wars themed baseball tee. So you have to, of course, got to get your Star Wars tickets at cardinals.com/theme, at cardinals.com/theme. So I want to bring both of those to your attention. So we look forward to seeing what Jason Tatum and the Celtics can do tonight. We look forward to, that was quite a statement by Rick Hummel. Well, he made a few of them. Number one, Steven Matz, he said, no, Jack Flaherty will be pitching before Steven Matz. I believe that. Unless there is something that happens to Flaherty, and I'm not even going to be a smart aleck about that now because he's close. I mean, he's on the cusp of returning. And I do agree with Rick Hummel. If he goes great tonight for Memphis, they may be tempted to bring him back just a little early. But if not, it's probably going to be only one more rehab start after tonight. So he's really, really close. And he looked great his first time through the rehab assignment. Number 2 is tonight. I'll be checking that box score. But it sounds like Matt's, again, why I don't want to get wound up on this again because I did this already, but I'm just mystified. It's like, he clearly had a setback, and if they're talking about him if Rick Hummel is correct, and he is, he's not anything close to being where Flaherty is. So, yeah, I think we can call it a setback because when he went on the IL, there was talk, including from Matz himself, that he would only miss like 2 starts and he wouldn't have to go on a rehab assignment. Okay, how'd that work out? So here we go again, but at least they have they're going to commit to Palante as a starter. I think Flaherty's going to be back, maybe another 2 turns through the rotation, something like
probably.
that.
Yeah.
So they'll only have to do their unnecessary patchwork. Oh, this is packy time. They won't have to do that very longer. They may not have to do it at all, because the way it's shaken out here, Zach Thompson could be in line for that 5th slot next week. We'll just wait and see. There's just no reason to sweat it now. But another statement by Hummel was, tonight you're going to see the best possible lineup that the Cardinals can put on the field with the players they have. And I agree with that.
I'm there with you. I'm excited about that. And just a thought on the follow-up on the Jack Flaherty thing. If Jack is good after this next start, why not bring him up here and let him pitch 2 innings instead of Packy Naughton next time he goes out of the mound, right?
And he could give you more than that. I mean, he probably can give you 4, because he's going to be stretched out a bit. I think they want to get him up to 60 pitches tonight, and they will. And, that's 3 innings right there, Major League Baseball. Actually, maybe 4. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
Why? Just quit inviting drama into this thing. It's weird. They've got enough drama, so don't look for other reasons to add to the drama. It's like, oh, we don't know what we're going to do. Can Andy Bennis throw? It's like you pitch Flaherty for 3+ innings on his next turn, instead of a rehab assignment.
Agreed.
And you don't have to do this constant, oh, we're shuffling. We're considering 113 pitchers. We don't know which one, Just shut up with this stuff. Give the ball to Flaherty. We don't care if it's a short start.
No, not at all. We're trying other guys who can't even get out of 1 inning.
I know. So Jim Hewer's on to something there.